I know many of y'all have been, checking out this Penn State cocaine trafficking scandal they got going on. But for you that didn't see it, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up to speed. Authorities have charged 14 people, including 13 are current former students, in connection with an alleged cocaine trafficking organization. And the prosecutors aren't just alleging that the drugs were sold. They say the cocaine was being brought into the State College area from Philadelphia and New York and processed and packaged at 2 off-site fraternity houses. And in some cases, fraternity pledges were allegedly used to help package the drugs. Now, there's another major development in the story. The alleged ringleader, 24-year-old Agostino Abatiallo, surrendered to authorities today after failing to appear for his scheduled arraignment on Monday, and he was denied bail. So tonight we're going to break down what the authorities say happened, what the fraternities are saying, and perhaps most importantly, how does an alleged drug operation become intertwined with fraternity culture?
Brothers and sisters!
Now, according to Pennsylvania Attorney General Dave Sunday's office, the alleged trafficking operation operated primarily during 2023 and 2024. Investigators say 2 men were at the center of the alleged operation, and that is Agostino Abatiallo and Thomas Robinson. Authorities allege the 2 obtained large quantities of cocaine through contacts in Philadelphia and New York. Now, the cocaine was then allegedly brought back to the State College area, and prosecutors say it was cut and packaged at 2 off-site campus fraternity houses, Sigma Chi and Delta Upsilon. The drugs were allegedly then distributed primarily to other Penn State students. And this is where the story started to take a more disturbing turn, because authorities also allege that the fraternity pledges were sometime required to help cut and package cocaine. According to prosecutors, this wasn't necessarily presented simply as a criminal activity. They allege that some pledges participating in the drug packaging was actually part of the fraternity's initiation or indoctrination process. And Pennsylvania AG Dave Sunday described the alleged operation as a highly profitable trafficking organization, saying it involved senior fraternity members and other fraternity brothers and pledges. And it raises an important question. At what point does hazing stop being reckless college behavior and become participation in an organized criminal activity? Now, authorities announced charges against 14 people. 4 defendants, including Abatiallo and Robinson, face serious felony allegations involving offenses such as corrupt organizations, criminal conspiracy, dealing in proceeds of unlawful activity, and drug-related offenses. Another defendant faces felony conspiracy and criminal use of a communication facility charges. 8 additional defendants face misdemeanor drug possession and drug paraphernalia charges. The 14th defendant is particularly notable, and that person is Paul Robinson. Guess who he is, folks? The father of Thomas Robinson.
You big dummy!
Prosecutors accuse him of attempting to conceal evidence, including a safe allegedly containing drugs and cash. He faces felony charges involving tampering with evidence, hindering apprehension, and obstructing the investigation. Now, let's get into today's development. Agostino Abatiallo, who's 24, y'all, was accused of being one of the leaders of the operation. Authorities say he initially failed to appear for his scheduled arraignment on Monday, so today, Abatiallo surrendered to authorities. He was arraigned on multiple charges, including allegations involving possession with intent to deliver cocaine and conspiracy, and unlike some of the other defendants in this case, Abatiallo was denied bail and ordered to go straight to jail. That development significantly changes the story because prosecutors are now moving forward with the person they describe as one of the central figures in the alleged operation. He about to start snitching. Another major issue is the role of the fraternities. Both organizations mentioned in the investigation are off campus. So Penn State says Delta Upsilon has been placed in an interim suspension while the university investigates. The university also says that Sigma Chi is no longer a university-recognized organization. Penn State officials have condemned the allegations and said that criminal activity and hazing have no place at the institution. The university says it will cooperate with law enforcement and continue efforts focused on student safety and hazing education. Delta Upsilon also said that the individuals connected to the allegations have been expelled, suspended, or resigned. And this is where I think the conversation needs to go beyond, just college students selling cocaine, because if the prosecutor's allegations are ultimately proven, y'all, we're talking about something much bigger. We're talking about drug trafficking, money, fraternity culture, hazing, peer pressure, and allegedly using younger members of pledges as part of the operation. Now think about that. A student enter college, they expecting, to do the college thing, find friends, network, do the little social thing. And then imagine being a pledge to one of these fraternities and being pressured into participating in something illegal, but you're being told that is what you have to do to become one of us. And that's an entirely different level of exploitation. There's also an important legal distinction we have to make, y'all, and that's everybody is presumed innocent unless they proven guilty in court. The allegations for this case is very serious, but they're just allegations and not convictions. And that's important because this case is beginning to move through the court system. But regardless of what happens at the trial, the allegations raise serious questions about how universities, fraternities, and students identify dangerous behavior before it escalates. When you look at it, the most disturbing part isn't simply the allegation that the cocaine was being sold around the college campus, because unfortunately, drug activity exists on college campuses across the country. The thing that stands out is that the allegations that the fraternity culture itself may have been used to facilitate the operation. And if the pledges were being pressured into packaging cocaine as part of their initiation, that's not a college prank, that's not hazing, and that's not simply students making bad decisions. That's potentially an organized criminal operation exploiting the culture of belonging and peer pressure. And that should concern every parent sending a child away to college. This Penn State case is still developing, and today's surrender of Abatialo means we're likely going to hear much more as these defendants move through the court system, because I'm telling you, they're going to start singing like the Temptations behind them doors. We'll continue to follow this case as the new information comes out, because this just isn't about Penn State, y'all. It's about hazing, peer pressure, drugs, accountability, and what can happen when the desire to belong becomes more powerful than the fear of the consequences. So let me know what you think in these comments, and please like, share, and subscribe. This is called Gerard with the Only One Mic podcast, signing off. Peace.